Hi, hi everybody, and hey, we're having a great time here at KYCA. Hi everybody, and welcome to the Bob Show here on KYCA 1490 AM and 103.5 FM. As usual, we have a really good guest for you today, but I'd love for you to call in and ask them some questions because there's a little bit of mystery around the program that Walt runs and the director of the thing. And our phone number here is area code 928-541-1016, and you can ask him any question you want. And I'd like to introduce you to, are you on? Yeah, Walt Miller from Silent Witness. Now, I know he's been on Malcolm's show a couple of times, Malcolm in the Morning, and we were just talking about, Malcolm's a little behind the curve a little bit because you never get to be on TV with Malcolm, do you?
That's right. I showed up today. You said, "Hey, you're going to be on TV."
Yeah.
You ran me into the makeup room real quick.
Yeah,
They dressed me up, so we're getting my good side.
Yeah.
And then you got me snacks and water, and I'd never gotten that with Malcolm.
I know. I hope you're listening to Malcolm. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
We need Malcolm to step it up a little bit. Is there somebody here at the station I can talk to?
Yeah. Right after the show, I'll introduce you to somebody, and we'll take care of it because he needs some guidance.
He needs a little guidance.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
The guy that runs this show, the Bob Show, is on the Silent Witness board and been on for a while, and Walt just showed up about a year ago.
That's right.
Just about a year ago.
Yep.
And we're glad to have you. I'm glad you're here because
I appreciate that.
It's been smooth sailing for the Silent Witness program.
Thank you.
And I look at the Silent Witness program and what I know about the Silent Witness program as another thing that can be used by law enforcement to get the job done for the citizens.
Absolutely. I like to look at it as another tool in the toolbox.
There you go.
That the citizens can use and our law enforcement community can use as well. I look at myself and the program being a liaison between the law enforcement agencies here at Yavapai County and the citizens. The citizens really drive the program. Without them, generating the tips and getting us the crime tips, we couldn't solve a lot of the crimes that we do. We couldn't get a lot of the fugitives off the streets that we do. So it's, like you said, it's been a very, very successful program, established way back in 1981 in Yavapai County, and hopefully it continues for years and years and years beyond my leadership.
So what are we, 30... Almost 40 years.
Yes.
81, 91,
yeah.
40 some.
40 some years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing about the Silent Witness program is the way it's set up. Most of the time, we have that Catch-22 program, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But the Catch-22 program, the people on there are usually fugitives from the law, have already been convicted of something,
right?
And they've not abided by the rules of the court, or they've skipped bail or whatever it is that they've done, and we're just trying to put them back where they need to be to finish out.
Correct.
What they're doing most of the time.
Right, to finish out their sentence. Here, what I've seen lately, and my last two Catch-22 programs that I did, I had a lot of absconders from probation, from the probation department.
There you go.
I did have a handful of other fugitives that the detectives, for example, we were looking for a guy in Prescott, right here in Prescott proper, that was wanted for a burglary and some weapons charges. He had been indicted, but he hadn't gone to trial yet.
Okay.
And there was they tried to catch him one night. They got in a pursuit with him. They lost him, and Prescott detective ran into a couple dead ends. I was able to advertise it a little bit. I reached out to some of my partners at the Marshal's office, U.S. Marshal's office.
Oh, wow, okay.
And they were able to generate some more leads, and they caught this guy in Phoenix and brought him back to Prescott here to face his felony charges.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the aspects of the program that people probably don't know about. It's not just a Prescott program. It's essentially, technically, it's countywide plus statewide,
right,
plus national wide.
Right.
You mentioned the marshal's office, and everybody coordinates and everybody cooperates with everybody else
Yes.
to get these fugitives
Right.
back where they need to be in custody so that they can
Right.
serve their
Right.
terms. or
What's really nice is we built up a great network of partners. We built up a great partnership over the years. As you know, Steve Skur just started the program
Yep.
way back in '81 and ran it till about 2017 or 18.
He ran it until about 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Right.
Yep.
And then Chris Wilson came in and did a
Yep.
great job.
Exactly
And
right.
now here I am, still new, almost a year. No, it'll be a year in November.
Yeah.
And when I look at the program, I see the partnerships, like I was saying, and the relationships we built with the other agencies. And just this afternoon, I just picked up the phone, called Chino Valley, and said, "Hey, I need some help on a couple tips. What do you think we should do?" And we talked it out, and we think we're going to be able to resolve a couple cases just by a quick phone call or a quick email. But the partnerships, the relationships that we build, the networking that we do, not only within the county but the state and actually nationwide, certainly helps solve some crimes. Lately, I've been lucky. The U.S. Marshals have done a wonderful job. They've caught 3 or 4 of our fugitives, one in Mexico, one in San Diego, and one in Oregon, just off the top of my head, and we might have a couple more. But the tips that Silent Witness was able to generate, we were able to locate these people out of state and bring them back.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
I can remember some years ago, a particular person escaped jail, got out of prison, not jail, not prison,
Right.
and was gone, into the wind, I guess you guys say, into the wind, and all of a sudden we get a call, and he's in, guess where? He's in Nevada somewhere.
Right.
Somebody calls in a tip to Silent Witness,
Yep.
send the Nevada people, send the cops out,
Right.
and guess what? Capture him, and back he comes.
Yep.
And, I call that justice.
Sure.
I think
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Another really interesting thing that I've figured out here just over the last few months is the Catch-22 program is well enough known that there are internet sleuths and internet detectives out there that don't even live in this county, and they pick up our site and they start looking at the advertisements that we send out, and they start doing their own investigations, if you will, and their own research, and they're able to generate some tips and some information on these people just through the internet. And guess what? Facebook catches a lot of people.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
I had that's good to
Yep.
know. Yeah.
Yep, Facebook catches a lot of people. I don't know, maybe that's a law enforcement tip I shouldn't disclose right now, but I think it's probably pretty commonly known.
I would imagine that people, maybe people that commit crimes aren't that smart. Some of them are, I suppose, but some of them are just kind of bumping along.
Yes, but sometimes they make it very easy for us to locate and catch.
Good. Glad
Yeah.
we catch them. I want to get into. I'm looking at the clock a little bit here because I want to get into. I know for certain. Well, not for certain that the guys that are committing the crimes out there are probably not watching the Bob Show at 4 to 5 on KYCA on a Tuesday afternoon.
Probably pretty good.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
probably
But
not.
their moms, their dads, and their grandparents might be
That's right.
worried about somebody that they know who might be either connected with or know of that particular person.
Correct. Sure.
And so what I want to do after the first break, you can tell Scotty, maybe we want to go ahead and take a little bit early break because I want to get into exactly how it works, what you have to do if you think that you know somebody, and the process very specifically, so
You
that
bet.
maybe they can even write down some stuff if they have a need for it, and then be able to call in and get the ball rolling
Sure.
for how it works. So is that
Absolutely.
okay with you guys? All right, let's go ahead and take our first break, and then we'll have a little bit more time after the break to talk about this. So hang on, we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Bob Show here on KYCA. We're talking to Walt Miller, who's Director of Silent Witness, Yavapai Silent Witness. And before the break, we're going to talk about specifics. If somebody's listening who knows something that they might be able to give to somebody else or whatever, some specific information to get into the program, because as my shirt says, it pays, and then depending on what the crime is, there are different rates of return on turning somebody in who needs to be recaptured or taken into custody so that they can face what they need to face because of the crime they committed. So,
Absolutely.
Walt, start us from the very beginning on what happens when somebody knows something that would lead to an arrest, not a conviction, but an arrest of a particular person.
You bet. So if we have a citizen out there who has some information on a felony crime, we investigate felony crimes and we pay rewards on the arrests of felony crimes. Let's just say, for an example, let's take some type of drug crimes, drug trafficking, sales of drugs.
Okay.
I do get a lot of tips on drug cases. Let's say we've got a citizen who hears that a gentleman down the street at 123 Main Street is selling methamphetamines and fentanyl. Fentanyl is real big right now, as you know.
Sure, it's horrible.
So that tipster can do one of two things. They can call us at 800-932-3232, and that's 24/7. If I'm not sitting at my desk to take the call myself, it goes to our dispatch center. Our dispatch center is trained on how to generate the tips for the tipster, and then they eventually they get emailed to me immediately, and then I'll sift through those and send those out. Or if they don't want to talk to anybody, if they don't want to talk to me or a dispatcher, it's very simple. They get on YavapaiSilentWitness.com, and that's our web page, YavapaiSW.com, and on that web page it says leave a tip. There's different tabs on there, and it says leave a tip. They click on that. It takes them to a site called P3 Tips, and you just simply, it's very simple. It's very, very user friendly. You just fill out all the information, and what we're looking for is very, very simple: who, what, when, where, and if you know why. So we need the who's, we need the names. If you can provide us good full names, first and last names. Sometimes the names you can spell different ways. If you can generate the right spelling, if not, we can try to figure it out. But if you have a date of birth, if you have a phone number, that's all important information. Here's another really, really key piece of information: is a good address. If you know where those drugs are being sold, if you know where this individual lives, we need good addresses, good solid addresses, whether they're in Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, Cottonwood, Sedona. Make sure you leave all that information.
Okay.
Also vehicle information. If you know what our suspect drives, give me a make and model and a license plate number. How about associates? Do you know who this person happens to run around with? Where do they work at? Where do they hang out after work? Do they frequent a certain restaurant or a bar? All that information, the more information you can provide us, obviously the better to generate a good, thorough investigation. Once you leave me all that good information and I've got that good address, and let's just say it's in Prescott Valley, I will send that tip to the Prescott Valley Police Department for further investigation, and they'll run with that investigation.
Let me stop you at this point. At no point do you have to give your name.
That's correct.
All right. And so how would I, as the tipster, how would I be able to, continue this on? Go ahead. You know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once that tip is generated, you've got a tip ID number. The computer or the dispatcher myself will give you a tip ID number and a password. you log into our website at that p3tips.com that I was telling you about. You enter those 2 numbers, and it takes you right to that case. And like you said, and probably one of the most important, or the key proponent of our program is, we never ask your name, we never know your name, and your name is never disclosed because we obviously don't know it. But we don't know phone numbers when they come into our system. It's anonymous. Obviously, when you type in, there's no email addresses for me to follow up on. And if I need to recontact you, this is also very, very important. That tip ID number and the password you've got to keep, and keep it secret. And it's kind of like a PIN number to your debit card. Don't let anybody see it. And if you are eligible for a reward, your tip turns into an arrest, I can dialogue back with you on the computer and say, hey, your tip led to the arrest of so-and-so. You are eligible for a reward. Please recontact me, and I'll give you further instructions how to get your reward. And then I set them up through our reward system. You mentioned earlier about different categories. What happens once an arrest is made, I take that case to the board. We have a monthly board meeting. I take that to the board. We review that, and I make a suggestion on what I believe the reward should be: 200, 300, 400, 500. Again, depending on the case. If it's a violent crime that involved a weapon, we're probably looking at a little bit more money. If it's a person crime that involves children, we're looking at a little bit more money.
Fentanyl.
We're looking at a little bit more money. So we have those discussions as a board, and the board discusses those. And I found out very quickly, let's just say, for example, if I recommend 250, I've had the board come back and say, let's make it 300, or let's make it 400. One case, I think there was one case that involved some children, a crime against the children, and I think the board granted $1,000.
Yeah, you put a child in harm's way.
Absolutely, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, the board gets
Yep. That's the way it should be.
Okay, so that happens.
Yep.
Then the tipster recontacts you, and then you tell them the money's now been made available.
Right.
You tell them what?
I direct them which bank to go to, and I give them a series of numbers again.
Okay.
They go to the bank. They ask for the bank employee that I direct them to, and they give that bank employee the numbers. I've already, of course, have called ahead.
Sure.
So they're expecting our tipster.
Sure.
And they look at the numbers. They hand them an envelope full of cash, and they walk out the door. The bank never asks for any name, numbers, addresses, nothing.
Nothing. And there's it's a blank envelope.
Yep.
And it doesn't have some kind of a coupon or anything. It's cash.
It's cash.
It's cash on the barrelhead.
It's cash.
And you walk out of there, and that job is now solved.
That's
over.
right. That crime has been solved.
Well,
bad guy, bad girls in jail, and
the tipster's a little bit got a few extra bucks.
Yep. And they've assisted the community and law enforcement taking somebody off the streets.
Yep. It's just that simple.
Yep.
And you never have to give your name. And nobody will ever know who you are or know your name.
That's right.
And you just, I've had as a member of the board, sign some stuff at some banks on different occasions where I know what you're talking about, where a specific person is given the money, and it's so simple. It works, folks. It's been working for 40 years.
Yep.
We've never had a disclosure of anybody. It's never happened. And as long as the board's doing their job and you're doing your job, which you're doing a great job, it's going to be that. It's going to stay that way.
That's right.
And because we know it could happen if somebody got turned in, if somebody got found out,
you bet
it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, the anonymity is
important.
Is number one.
Yep, absolutely. We've got about, I don't know, half a minute left before the hard break at the bottom of the hour. And I want to touch on, before we get into the golf tournament, there's a golf tournament coming. I want to talk
Big
about the golf
tournament
tournament.
coming.
That's good old Silent Witness. Let's raise some funds to do what we do.
That's right.
But I want to talk about a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit before and after the break at the bottom of the hour, about the horrible fire that happened in Prescott Valley.
Okay.
What's 6
April
months?
1st.
April 1st, where they burned down all those apartments. Somebody did that.
Right.
And what that's generated as far as the program goes and the tip amount goes, and there's still some outstanding work to be done there.
That's
so it's somebody could do very well, and we'd be happy to pay the funds to get that solved.
Absolutely.
So we're down to 5 seconds before the hard break. Stick with us, folks. We will be right back after these messages. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Bob Show here. We're talking to Walt Miller, who's director of Silent Witness here, Yavapai Silent Witness here in Prescott, Arizona, and the county, and places beyond. And we were just talking before the break about the horrible fire on April 1st out in Prescott Valley that burned all those
Legato fire.
Yeah, is that what we call it, Legato? Because that's the apartments that they were building there. And the road has been blocked off for, almost 6 months now.
Right.
It's open now, I understand.
Right.
And things are kind of getting back to normal. But I want you to explain to the folks that are listening, how that has evolved to this point now and what's being offered as a reward to earn if you turn somebody in for that particular crime.
Sure. As you said, the April 1st Legato fire burned down the Legato luxury apartments there in Prescott Valley, and Prescott Valley Police, who is the lead investigating agency in this case, They've also tied that fire to some aggravated criminal damages that occurred at Bradshaw Mountain High School.
Okay.
Where last time I knew, and this might have changed, it was around $60,000 in damages to the
I had
school.
no idea there was that much.
Yeah, a lot of damages. And the way Arizona state statute reads, if you commit a criminal damage on a school or a place of religion, it's aggravated. So that turns it into a felony.
In addition to the fire.
In addition to the fire, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 separate incidents.
Right.
And it's my understanding they were able to link those two together.
Okay.
Also, through that investigation, they believe the same suspect is involved in some graffiti that's happened within the area around Harkins Theater and that complex right in there. They believe it's the same person. So what we've done, we've tried to be a little bit proactive and get out in front of this. If you remember, I think it might have been April 3rd or 4th, I went to the YouTube, and our PIOs at Yavapai County put me on YouTube.
PIOs?
And, our public information officers.
Okay.
They were able to tape some information that provided information to our citizenry. And we came out with a $45,000 reward.
You hear that, folks?
$45,000, and the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms (ATF) division of the federal government is also offering a $10,000 reward that's separate from ours. So all totaled for that case, on April 1st, the Legato Fire in Prescott Valley and the Bradshaw Mountain High School incident, you're looking at $55,000 total reward money that is still being offered to this date.
Yep. And folks, that kind of an incident is extremely bad. And we got lucky that nobody got injured.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just pure luck that nobody got hurt, including the firemen working the fire and all the rest of it.
Absolutely.
And including all the people that are now clearing out that stuff and have to start over.
You bet.
And so, folks, think about it: $55,000 turning in somebody, or if you know some information about who it may be. You know, somebody's going to hand you an envelope with a lot of cash in it, and it's not a joke. I mean, they would get that much cash.
Absolutely, it's it's one of those crimes that's touched the community. I have generated over 100 tips since we started advertising it.
Okay,
it might even be a little bit more than 100. It's obviously kept Prescott Valley Police Department. They put together a task force, and they've looked into every tip that I've sent them, and they're weeding through some stuff. And to this day, the investigation is still ongoing. And I just urge the public. There's somebody out there, Bob. I really believe there's somebody out there that knows something.
Of course there is.
It's well advertised, and you can see in the surveillance photos that our suspects. It appears he's wearing a GoPro, and he's videotaping his actions, and he's videotaping the crimes as he commits them. Somebody out there has seen those videos. Somebody knows who. Somebody knows what happened. Somebody knows why. And we need that information so we can help solve this crime. This is, I haven't been here this long, been in the Prescott Valley area that long, but I can see how it really affected the community.
Yes.
Something like this does certainly have an effect on the community, and it needs to be resolved.
Right. And folks, if you're watching the show and you're thinking about it and you think, well, I remember somebody saying something, think through it again, and maybe it'll spark something, and we can pin this person down get them arrested and pay you a lot of money if you're the tipster. So,
that's right.
All right, time to take a break. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll be talking we'll change the subject a little bit and talk about the golf tournament.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So stick with us. We'll be right back. And here we are back at the Bob Show. We're talking to Walt Miller, who's the director of Yavapai Silent Witness. And we just talked about the Legata fire and how much money is available for somebody out there who knows something. And there is somebody out there who knows something.
That's right.
Walt, you know they're out there. And you can make a few bucks. You can make more than a few bucks. You can make a lot of bucks and get this person under arrest so they can pay for their crime. It's something that we're going to find out sooner or later.
That's right.
That person is going to get caught. So it's just, let's do it tomorrow instead of a year or two from now.
That's right.
Let's
get it resolved.
It's gonna happen. All right. Let's change the subject and talk a little bit about one of the ways that Silent Witness gets money put into our account is through our golf tournament, our annual golf tournament.
That's right.
Which when you first came to interview for the job, I said, it's a real pain to put it together. You probably found that out. But it's worth the time. It's worth the effort. And you've done some things this year that we haven't done before, which is good. So I don't have to sit on hole 14 all day long. That's a good thing. So let's talk about the golf tournament. I don't know if we have any spots available or not. So
we have my official flyer that I put out a few months ago.
I should have brought. Yeah. Okay. It is
documents that the registration closed on Friday. However, I've got 12 slots still available. So if anybody wants to play, first come, first serve. You can register on CharityGolf.com, and if you just go to CharityGolf.com, Google that, it'll take you to a list of events. You find the Prescott Yavapai Silent Witness opened. You'll find it real quick. You can click on it and register right online. It takes probably less than 5 minutes to do it online, or you can just give me a call. Give me a call, say, hey, I know the tournament's in 11 days, and I'm a little bit late to the game, but save me a spot, and I'll send you some money, or you can pay at the door, and that's fine too. But I've got 12 slots opened. So if anybody out there wants to play, let me know. This is year 39, Bob. 39th annual.
We got kind of goofed up because of COVID there.
Yep.
We missed one or two.
Yep.
So.
I think you missed one in 2020, if I'm looking at the records, right? Does that sound?
That sounds right.
So this is year 39. This is our annual fundraiser for the year. As you mentioned, this is a 501(c), so we're a nonprofit.
Right, so you can deduct the donation.
Yep, any donations that are made, I will send you a letter and a receipt with a tax ID number, and you can write it off at the end of the year. It generates our funds for the year. It helps us, number one, it helps pay for all these rewards that we're getting on the crime tips, and then it also helps to pay for some office maintenance. I have some computer costs. I have some phone costs.
I was going to say phone.
Some here recently we need to update our website, so there'll be a little cost there. So it helps us with some general maintenance. But the big fundraising is for our rewards that we can give to our citizens when we get those tips and make arrests.
Yep.
In year 39, very, very simple. You come out and play a round of golf for us or with us. You have a chance for great raffle prizes. We have some silent auctions that we're going to present to the folks. I've got Diamondback tickets. I've got autographed footballs from the Arizona Cardinals. We've got foursome at some of the greatest golf courses here in the state of Arizona.
Including places in Sedona.
The Capital One Club here in Prescott that's absolutely gorgeous. I went and talked to those folks. Very gracious that our local businesses and our local citizens have donated to us. I couldn't be more impressed with our citizens being willing to give out some money to help this program thrive. $150 you can sponsor a hole. I'll make a great sign for you, and we'll put out a sign, and you sponsor a hole.
Sure.
And it's a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And annually, Bob Bean, for example, at what's the name of his new
Blue
company?
Compass RV.
Thank you, Blue Compass RV. Can't get it in here. He always offers a
A travel trailer.
travel trailer, which is on hole 14, is why
14.
I know, because 14 has to have somebody at the tee off
Got to have
and
a witness.
at the hole.
That's right.
Because that's a big award to win something.
A hole in one, you can win a trailer, and I believe hole 6 is the
Sounds
car,
right.
Lamb Chevrolet.
Yeah, okay.
Lamb
yeah.
Chevrolet will have a car there, and we'll have hole 8, 11,
It's
10 maybe, with some, and we'll offer some other prizes for holes in ones.
right.
We also have a long drive contest, men's and women's. We also have closest to the pins, men and women's.
Yeah, we got all these crazy things for crazy people at
That's
golf.
right.
And
That's right. It's going to be fun. Come out and join us.
And if you actually are on a team that wins, a foursome that wins, you get a nice trophy.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we try to do this thing right.
Yeah.
Everybody has fun. You get lunch.
Yep.
After after you come in, the whole thing's over, and we do the auction, not the auction things, but the raffle
silent
tickets
auction?
stuff.
Oh,
While you're out there, we're drawing the numbers, so
Right.
you don't have to wait around for somebody reading the numbers on your tickets.
That's right.
You can just go check the board and see what it is,
That's right.
and pick up what you want if you got lucky enough
That's
to win
right.
something. And it's just a fun day for everybody.
Yep.
I was kidding around before, but people just love to come out to this tournament, and it's going to be on September the
September 14th,
14th at
8 o'clock at Antelope Hills North Course. It's a scramble start, and we'll have the Yavapai County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard present the colors with a bagpiper. We'll present the colors, do a Pledge of Allegiance, say a few quick words, and we'll get everybody out on the course to have a good time. In the meantime, I'll be behind the scenes doing some raffle stuff. Guys can come in, claim their prizes. I've got over 40, I think I'm about 45 raffle prizes.
Oh wow, good.
And 12 silent auctions.
Stuff, yeah.
We've got golf bags to give away. We've got golf clubs to give away. We've got
We have a goodie bag we give everybody.
We've got a goodie bag. It's going to be a fun time, and it looks like we'll have a good day of weather. So come out and join us. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Now, you mentioned getting a hold of you specifically. You want to do this now. What's the easiest way to do that? Phone number or?
Yeah, you bet. You can call me at 777-7266 is my direct office number, or you can email me at walter.miller@yavapiaz.gov and just shoot me an email and let me know you want to play, and we'll get you in.
All right.
But
perfect.
I've got to cap it at 128, and I've only got 12 slots left.
Okay.
So any golfers that are listening out there, give me a buzz.
Yeah, and talk to somebody who's been out there before. You know what a good time you have.
You bet.
All right. All right, we have to take one more break, so let's go ahead and do that. And hang with us. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the Bob Show, our final segment. We're talking to Walt Miller, who's the director of Yavapai Silent Witness, and we've mentioned the program Catch 22, but I want to have you talk a little bit more about Catch 22 and the types of people that are on the Catch 22 list that we're trying to get people to call in and tell us where they are so we can recapture them. For the most part, they've already committed the crime, or have been accused of the crime and need to go to court or whatever. So let's talk about the types of folks that we're looking for.
Sure.
And name names if you want, if you can remember them.
Sure.
Okay.
I think I can remember a
Some
few.
of them,
Some of them are sticking out in my mind. Catch 22 program.
Unique to our area.
Honestly, it's unique to in from what I know, it's unique to the state of Arizona. I don't know if Maricopa or Pima. I know Coconino County doesn't run one.
Okay.
I'm from Coconino County. I think it's unique to the state of Arizona. I apologize. I don't know when Steve Scourges started it.
I can't remember either.
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yep, good idea.
Right. So basically what we do 2 times a year, one in July and one in December, right before the holidays, we run 22 people, one a day for 22 straight days. And we're looking for our most wanted fugitives in Yavapai County. And basically what I'll do is I'll reach out to my partner agencies saying, hey, I'm getting ready to run a Catch 22 program. Let me know who's on your radar, who you're looking for. Give me a quick synopsis of the case, and I'll put everything together. I'll do a pretty much a press release and give the media a synopsis of the case, obviously who we're looking for with some pictures, and send that out and let them advertise for it.
Sure.
And when I start generating tips and I send it to the correct agencies and we get an arrest, it's $1,000, no questions asked. And this is one of the programs that I don't have to go to the board to ask for the money. It's in our bylaws that I'm allowed to pay that tipster immediately. So if your tip leads to an arrest on a Thursday, and I can probably have you paid by the weekend, $1,000 cash. And like I said, we do that 2 times a year. I will look for our most wanted fugitives. What I really try to look for, Bob, is violent crimes against people. I've ran some. I've done it twice since I started working here. I did one in December, and I just finished one up here in July, and we've run several guys that have been accused and convicted of domestic violences incidents, and they've either absconded from their probation, or once they go to court and they get either tried and convicted, or they get tried in absentia because they didn't show up for their court, then a warrant gets issued for their arrest. So once that warrant gets issued for their arrest, any law enforcement officer in the state, and depending on the circumstances nationwide, law enforcement can arrest them, and we'll bring them back here to Yavapai County and resolve the case and hopefully get them held accountable for their crimes. Yep. Also, when I started doing some digging, I think we mentioned this in one of the first segments here, I see a lot of people who have absconded from their probation. They've been given 1, 2, 3, 4 chances to make things right, and for whatever reason they just can't do it and they disappear. We feature them in our Catch 22 program. We get them arrested. And a couple of these cases that I've seen, we had one case that the U.S. Marshals helped me locate one of our absconders in San Diego. She actually went to prison after she got back. She was given a prison sentence for a couple of years. Same with, I mentioned a gentleman who ended up in Mexico. U.S. Marshals were able to work with their partners in Mexico. They brought him to the border at California, escorted him across the border. Yavapai County went and got him. He's in prison as we speak right now. So we were able to get some resolution on those cases and get them held accountable for their actions.
You know, one of the things that just ran through my mind, and we don't ever talk about it, but we should a little bit anyway, and that's the board members. And the folks that are on this board, I should look at the camera, the folks that are on this board are 100% volunteers. Yep. There's nobody gets paid. We're there to listen to you as the director as to what's going on, make decisions about who to get rewards and that kind of a thing. And well, I'll give you an example. The shirt I've got, I'm wearing, I bought it. You know, I'm on the board. You know, everything goes to the program. And there's been some years where we got some shirts to wear during the golf tournament. Right. But other than that, it's all focused at the program. Nobody gets any kind of income. No, there's nothing like that going on this committee at all.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. I walked into this program, and I was welcomed with open arms. And our board members, like you said, 100% volunteer. They care about their community. They want to do the right thing. And I think you've been on for
6-7 years, I think.
6-7 years.
There have been some folks have been on there for a very long time.
Yeah, 15, 20 years.
Yep, or more.
So we appreciate your service, Bob, and my other board members. I hope you're listening. Appreciate your service.
Malcolm in the morning.
He's one of our board members.
He's a slacker.
He didn't give me water or chips or anything, but I hope you're listening, Malcolm. Give me a buzz. Give me a buzz, buddy. So yeah, we appreciate your volunteerism and giving back to the community, and that's what it's about.
And it's a thing that we can do, and it's just, you know, if somebody ever asks you if you want to join the board, and it may happen at some point, you'll expect to be interviewed by you, you'll get fingerprinted, and we'll go through some little processes to make sure that, you know, everything's on the up and up.
That's right.
To get on the board and go from there. So
that's right.
It's been a privilege to serve, and quality people like you come along.
I appreciate that.
After Steve left, Chris came on, and now here you are.
Yep.
And it's just it's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And as long as there's never, you know, a release of any information or anything, which we don't know anything about.
That's right.
As a board. You know, so you should be good to go.
That's right.
If you get involved in the
program.
We
got to keep it quiet, silent witness, right?
That's right. All right, next time on the Bob Show, which is going to be the first Tuesday in October already, we're going to have Wes and Phyllis Holmes from Foothill Ranch Horseback Riding in Walker, and it's going to be a very interesting program because they know a lot about the history in Walker. So we'll see you the first Tuesday in October. Thank you very much for watching and listening.